Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to our foundation lectures in mathematics. So in today's lecture, let's start with a discussion on probability. Probability is a very important topic as far as the real life application is concerned, because you could also say probability is the science of uncertainty. Okay, means from all those uncertain things you will be trying to quantify it using a measure, some kind of measure that we'll call it as probability measure, and we'll try to come up with logical deductions, okay, based on these quantifications. So deducing logical inferences from uncertain things, see, really I mean, that's a quite interesting things, and probability will help us to in this aspect. So let's understand the basics of the probability so far as your 10th class curriculum is concerned. Okay, first of all, it is the numerical measurement of degree of uncertainty. Okay, so theoretical probability associated with an event is defined as like this: if there are n elementary events associated with a random experiment and m of these are favorable to the event, then we'll say that probability of occurrence of an event is defined as P of E, and it is as ratio m by n. Remember this: if E is any event, okay, if E is any event, then we define probability of occurrence of that event as the ratio of number of outcomes favorable to event E to total number of all possible outcomes of the experiment. Okay, so in general we'll denote like this: P of E is equal to m by n. What is E means? It is the event, and what is m means? Number of outcomes favorable to E, and n is the total number of possible outcomes. Now if P of E is 1, okay, P of E, when it will be 1, m is equal to n, then m by n will be 1. That is, all the outcomes are favorable to event E. Then we'll say that it is certain. Certain event means sure to happen, it will happen. Like sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west, so these are bound to happen, you can't change. So the probability of these events are certain. 1. If P of E is equal to 0, then we'll call it as an impossible event. For example, sun rises in the west, it never happens, right? These are impossible events. And one more thing what you need to observe is probability of an event, we are defining it as a ratio, and ratio is always positive, and this is always less than or equal to 1. So probability of an event is a number P of E, and it always lies between 0 and 1. This is very important. Probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. And then an event having only one outcome, we'll call it as an elementary event. Elementary event means an event having only one outcome. Sum of all the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. Remember this: sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. That is, for example, if you are having a experiment of throwing a dice, then the outcomes would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we define the probability of getting 1 as 1 by 6, because favorable outcome is 1, total outcomes are 6. For 2 also 1 by 6, for 3 also 1 by 6, for 4 also 1 by 6, and for 5 also 1 by 6, and for 6 also 1 by 6. And if you sum all this, see, you are getting 1. An event having only one outcome is called elementary event, so all these are elementary events. And then sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. If you will add all this, you will be getting 1. Okay, next, for any event E, P of E plus P of E complement will stand this as E naught, or complementary, means not E. E bar stands for not E. Okay, or also we'll say that complementary. So E and E bar are called complementary events. When do you call them as complementary events? When sum of their probabilities is 1. Okay, remember this: two events are said to be complementary if sum of their probabilities is 1. Okay, favorable outcomes are those outcomes in the sample space that are favorable to the occurrence. For example, say I want an output 1. So what is the favorable outcome here? That is 1 itself. If I want a prime number, then what are my favorable outcomes? 2, 3 or 5. If I want even number, then my favorable outcomes will be 2, 4, 6. So as per the definition, the favorable outcomes would be changing. But whereas whenever you throw a die, the sample space will be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now, what is sample space? A sample space is nothing but a collection of all possible outcomes of an experiment is known as sample space. It is denoted by S. Okay. And will represent all the possible outcomes in curly bracket. So, for example, consider a coin is tossed. Let the experiment be coin is tossed. So, what are the possible outcomes you could get? When you toss a coin, either you will get head or tail. So, this is your sample space is given by curly bracket with those outcomes, head and tail. Okay. Similarly, consider another experiment. Say 2 coins are tossed. If 2 coins are tossed, okay, so you will be having 2 outcomes, right? I mean, you will be having 2 faces, like, and those will be either head tail, head head, or tail tail. So your sample space will consist of HT as one element, HH as one element, 2H, TT. So the total number of outcomes are 4. Are you getting this? So these are the possible outcomes. Similarly, some important tips. Coin. When a coin has 2 faces, termed as head and tail. Dice. A dice is a small cube with 6 faces, right? 6 faces, and each face is numbered between 1 to 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then cards. Again, this is something important. See, in cards, see, actually there is a deck of cards, means a packet of cards. In that, ignoring the joker, you will be having 52 cards in number. Okay, out of these 52 cards, there will be 26 cards which are of red colored, and 26 cards there will be in black colored. Please remember this. Out of a 52 playing cards, there will be 26 in red and 26 in black. And out of these 26 red, you will find 13 of with a symbol heart symbol. Okay, 13 with heart symbol, and 13 you will find with diamond symbol. Diamond. And similarly here in the black also you will find 13 with spade symbol, like this. Okay, we'll call this as a spade, and you will find 13 with a club. Now among these also, see, these are 13 in number. Now among these 13 you will find the cards as ace, 2, 3, these will be numbered cards till 10, and then you will find jack, queen, king. Same thing will repeat. Okay, so remember all this, because you could get questions anything on this. For example, out of 52 cards, how many red cards are there? 26. How many black cards are there? 26. Okay, how many diamond cards are there? 13. How many club cards are there? 13. Okay, so in this way. And how many aces will be there? Aces will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also you will have 1 ace, here also you will have 1 ace, here also you will have. Okay, and then J, Q, K, we'll call it as face cards. We'll call it as face cards. Please remember this terminology so that you will be able to write any question based on this. Okay, so let's look at the next. A pack of playing cards consists of 4 suits called hearts, spades, diamonds and clubs, and each suit consists of 13 cards. Okay, and remember this one. So let's look at the next. Complete the following statements. Probability of an event E plus probability of the event not E. What will be that? It is 1. Not E means complementary events, right? So E and not E. That is, either something should happen or that will not happen. Right? So both, if you will consider E and not E, either E should happen or E should not happen. So it is a certain event. So probability is 1. Next, the probability of an event that cannot happen, it can never happen means what will be the probability? That is 0. So such an event we'll call it as impossible event. Then the probability of an event that is certain to happen, it will happen always, like here the probability is 1, right? It is the probability of an event that is certain to happen means it should be 1, means it will happen always. So such an event we'll call it as sure event. And then sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment, as we have seen in the Dice experiment, sum of all the probabilities of all the elementary events will sum to 1. Then the probability of an event is always greater than or equal to 0 and always less than or equal to 1. Remember this inequality, very very important. Next, which of the following experiments have equally likely outcomes? See, equally likely outcome means if you will try to calculate the probabilities for which of these following experiments you will get the same ratio. See, look at this. A driver attempts to start a car. The car starts or does not start? The car starts or does not start? See, is this a equally likely outcome? It is not an equally likely outcome because car will not start only when it is out of order. So each time you try to start, it will start. So these are not equally likely outcomes. Now, a player attempts to shoot a basketball. She or he shoots or misses the shot. Again it is not a equally likely outcome because the game depends on many factors, right? And similarly, a trial is made to answer a true or false question. The answer is right or wrong. See, you trial means you don't know anything about the question, you are just guessing. So when you are guessing, it could be true or false, right? So your guess could be right or wrong. So this is an equally likely outcome because both have equal chances to happen, assuming that you have no knowledge. He is born, it is a boy or a girl. Again, see, you don't know, right, the combination of chromosomes and how the baby would be developed. It is a baby boy, I mean baby, right? So likely outcome. Similarly, if you head and tail, if you toss a coin, again they are equally likely because it could result in head or tail. Okay. Why is tossing a coin considered to be a fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of a football game? Which team should get the ball at the beginning of the football game? Because when we toss a coin, the outcomes head and tail are equally likely. So the result of an individual coin toss is completely unpredictable. Okay. Since both head and tail are having fair chances, so they are going with the tossing a coin. So let's look at another. Which of the following cannot be the probability of an event? Students, already we have discussed probability of an event. It always lies between 0 and 1, right? Can it be negative? No. Can it be 2 by 3? Yes. Can it be 15%? 15% is equal to 0.15 in decimal. So this is allowed. 0.7. It is in between 0 and 1. So this is allowed. So answer is B. This cannot be the probability of an event because probability can never be negative. It always lies between 0 and 1. Next. P of E is 0.05. What is probability of not E? See, probability of not E means we'll represent like this. E on top we'll write a line. Okay. Not E. Remember the equation P of E plus P of not E is 1. Remember this. So you are given probability of E 0.05. So from this you could find probability of not E. Probability of not E, you will get it as 1 minus 0.05, which will be 0.95. Next, a bag contains lemon flavored candies only. Malini takes out one candy without looking into the bag. What is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy? See, what is given? A bag contains only lemon flavored candies. Now if she picks a candy, how can she get an orange flavored candy? So since there is no orange flavored candy, Okay, favorable outcomes. She needs orange flavored so there is no chance of getting, so their favorable outcomes are 0. So the probability of an orange flavored cavard is 0. This is an impossible event because bag full of lemon flavored candies, and how can you get orange flavored? And then what is the probability that she takes a lemon flavored candy? See, whatever she picks, that will be obviously lemon flavored because there are only lemon flavored candies. So obviously this is a sure event. So the probability of a lemon flavored candy P of E will be 1. Next, it is given that in a group of 3 students, the probability of 2 students not having the same birthday is 0.992. It is given that in a group of 3 students, there are 3 students, the probability of 2 students not having the same birthday is 0.992. Now what is being asked? What is the probability that 2 students have the same birthday? See here, whatever they are asking in the question, assume that as some event. What is event? 2 students have same birthday. 2 students have same birthday. Assume this as E. Okay. Then what will be not E? Not E means 2 students not having the same birthday, isn't it? And we know that P of E plus P of not E is 1. But in this question they have given P of not E, that is 0.992. So from this you could find P of E. P of E will be 1 minus 0.992. This will be 0.008. Okay, students. Now let's look at the next one. A bag contains 3 red balls and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the ball drawn is red, not red? See, first of all, the number of red balls are 3. Number of black balls are 5. And total number of balls in the bag is 3 plus 5, that is 8. So now, first question, what is the probability of the drawn ball is red? Okay. See how many, what is the definition of probability? Number of favorable events to total number of outcomes. How many favorable outcomes are there? There are 3 red balls, so you could get any one among them. So the number of red balls, the favorable outcomes are 3. Total number of outcomes are how many? 8. So the probability of getting a red ball is 3 by 8. Similarly, what is the probability of getting not red? Not red means what? We know that probability of red plus probability of not red is 1. So we know this as 3 by 8 we have got. So probability of not red will be plus 3 by 8 is equal to 1. So from this you will get 1 minus 3 by 8, that is 5 by 8. Okay. So probability of getting not red ball, or you could say probability of getting black ball. Next, please read this question. A box contains 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles and 4 green marbles. Okay. Now one marble is taken out of the box at random. What is the probability that the marble taken out will be red, white, not green? So let's see. First of all, you have given number of red marbles as 5, number of white marbles as 8, number of green marbles as 4, and total number of marbles are 5 plus 8 plus 4, so this is 17, right? So the first question, what is the probability that you will take out red marble? So total number of favorable outcomes are, how many red are there? 5. Total number of outcomes, total number of marbles in the bag are 17. So out of 5, out of 17 there are only 5 favorable. So probability is 5 by 17 for red ball. Similarly, what is probability of white ball means? Look at how many white marbles are there. 8. Total number of marbles are 17. So probability is 8 by 17. Okay. Next, probability of not green they are asking. So to find probability of not green, find what is probability of green. What is probability of green? There are 4 green, total 17. So probability of green is 4 by 17. But you want probability of not green. So you need to subtract that from 1. So you will get 13 by 17. Okay. Next. A piggy bank contains 150 paisa coins, 50 1 rupee coins, 20 2 rupee coins and 10 5 rupee coins. if it is equally likely that one of the coins will fall out when the bank is turned upside down. So what is the probability that the coin will be a 50 paisa coin? See students, number of 50 paisa coins they are given 100, number of 1 rupee coins 50, number of 2 rupee coins 20, and number of 5 rupees coin 10. So total number of coins, if you will count, there are 118 number. Now you have been asked, what is the probability of getting a 50 paisa coin? How many 50 paisa coins are there? 100. Total number of coins 180. So 100 by 180 will give you the probability of 50 paisa coin. And second one, what is the probability it will not be a 5 rupee coin? So not means, first of all, find the probability of getting a 5 rupee coin. What is the probability of getting 5 rupee coin? There are 10 5 rupee coins, 10 out of 180. So this is the probability of getting 5 rupee coin. But in the question you have been asked probability of not a 5 rupee coin. So subtract this from 1, you will get the answer. So let's look at the next question. Gopi buys a fish from a shop for his aquarium. The shopkeeper takes out one fish at random from a tank containing 5 male fish and 8 female fish. Okay. Now what is the probability that fish taken out is a male fish again? So total number of fish are 13. Out of this 5 are male and 8 are female, right? So what is the probability that fish taken is out a male? So favorable events are 5. Total are 13. So the answer is the ratio 5 by 13. Okay. So let's look at the next one. A game of chance consists of spinning an arrow which comes to rest pointing at one of the numbers. Okay, one of the numbers, and these are equally likely outcomes. So what is the probability that it will point at a 8? See, since how many outcomes are there? 8. But here you have been asked to find what is the probability of getting 8. See, 8 is only one among those 8, right? So favorable is 1, total is 8. So the ratio probability of getting 8 is 1 by 8. Then look at the next one. What is the probability of getting an odd number? See, total number of outcomes are 8. How many odd numbers are there among these? 1, 3, 5 and 7. So there are 4. So 4 by 8. So 1 by 2. And then what is the probability of getting number greater than 2? How many numbers are there greater than 2? All these are greater than, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 by 8. And then what is the probability of getting number less than 9? See, obviously all the numbers are less than 9. So it is a sure event. 8 by 8. Isn't it? All the outcomes 1 to 8 are less than 9. So it is a sure event. So let's look at the next question. A die is thrown once. Find the probability of getting a prime number. See, first of all, when you throw a dice, you will be getting one of these outcomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 possible outcomes. Total number of outcomes are 6. You have been asked what is the probability of getting prime number. So among these, what are primes? 2, 3, 5. So how many numbers are there? How many favorable numbers are there outcomes? 3. So probability of getting a prime is 3 by 6, that is 1 by 2. And then what is the probability of getting a number lying between 2 and 6? How many numbers are there in between 2 and 6? 3, 4, 5. So there are 3 in number. So 3 favorable outcomes. Total outcomes is 6. So the ratio 1 by 2. And then look at the third one. What is the probability of getting an odd number? How many odd numbers are there? 1, 3, 5. There are 3 odd numbers, right? So again 3 by 6. So 1 by 2 answer. Okay. Let's look at the next one. One card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of getting a king of red color. See, I have discussed this. Among 52 cards, you will be having 26 red and 26 black. 26 red and 26 black. Among these 26, okay, red means you will be having hearts 13 and diamonds 13. In each of these 13 you will be having one king, and here also you will be having one king, right? So here a king of red color. So how many kings are there of red color? There are 2. So there are 2 kings of red colored, but total number of cards are 52. So the ratio 2 by 52 is your probability of getting a king of red color. And then a face card. What is the probability of getting face card? See, first of all, I have said you jack, queen, king. We'll call these as face cards. So in the hearts, you will be having 3 face cards. And even in the diamonds, you will be having 3 face cards. And here also among the black, you are having spade and club, right? So in spades also you will be having 3 face cards. In clubs also you will have 3 face cards. So total there are 12 face cards. Okay. Out of the total 52 cards, 12 are face cards. So the probability of getting a face card is 12 are your favorable outcomes. Total number of outcomes are 52. So the ratio 3 by 13. And then what is the probability of getting a red face card? Red face card. See again. See, out of these 12 face cards, again these are red. These 6 will be red in color, right? So probability of getting a red face card will be 6 by 52. It is 3 by 26. And then what is the probability of getting jack of hearts? Jack of hearts. See, first of all, hearts cards will be 13 in number. Among these 13, the cards are ace, 2, 3, so on, 10, jack, queen, king. So how many jacks are there? Jacks of hearts. There is only 1. So 1 of 52. 1 by 52. And then what is the probability of getting a spade? See how many spade cards are there? All these are spade cards, right? They are 13 in number. 13 spades. So 13 out of 52. 1 by 4 will be your answer. Next, what is the probability of getting queen of diamonds? So again, diamonds here. Here you will be having jack, queen, king. So there is only 1. So there is only 1 out of 52. So the answer is 1 by 52. Okay, students. So if you know the number of cards and that structure, then it is very easy. Let's look at the next question. 5 cards, 10, jack, queen, king and ace of diamonds are well shuffled with their face downwards. Now one card is then picked up at random. What is the probability that the card is the queen? See, out of these 5 cards, how many cards are there which are queen? There is only 1, right? So total number of outcomes are 5, but favorable outcomes is only 1. So probability of getting the queen is 1 by 5. Next, if the queen is drawn and put aside, see, follow this question very carefully. Initially there are 10, jack, queen, king, ace. But here in the second question what they are saying is queen is drawn and put aside. Okay. Then you will be left with only 10, jack, king and ace, isn't it? So now look at the question. What is the probability that the second card picked? Because what is the first card? First card is queen. And you are keeping this aside. So no more this is in that loop. Okay. So now you are having collection of 10 J, K, A only. You have kept it aside. What is the probability that the second card picked is an ace? How many cards are there if you have kept queen aside? Queen is somewhere else and all these 4 cards are shuffled. Okay, are at one place. So now you are picking 1. So what is the probability of getting an ace? How many cards are there? 4. Out of this, how many aces are there? 1. So the answer is 1 by 4. Next, what is the probability of getting a queen? Look at this. How many cards are there? 4. Among these, how many queens are there? 0. There is no more queen left because you have kept it aside. So the answer is 0. It is an impossible event. Okay. So let's look at the next question. 12 defective pens are accidentally mixed with 132 good pens. Okay. So total pens one is defective and other is good ones. So defective are how many in number? 12. Good ones are 132 in number. So what are the total number of pens? 144. Now out of this, see, it is not possible to just look at a pen and tell whether or not it is defective. Okay. So one pen is taken out at random from this slot. Determine the probability that the pen taken out is a good one. See, good one. How many good ones are there? So total pens are 144. Out of these, the number of good pens are 132. So the probability that the pen is good one is 132 by 144. Or if you will simplify, you will get 11 by 12. These are very easy. Just follow the classical definition of probability, that is the ratio of the number of favorable outcomes to total number of outcomes. And then a lot of 20 bulbs contain 4 defective ones. Okay. So here said total number of outcomes are 20, total number of bulbs, and out of these 4 are defective. 4 are defective. So good ones are 16 in number, right? So now one bulb is drawn at random. What is the probability that this bulb is defective? So your favorable event is drawing a defective one. How many defective ones are there? 4 in number. So if one among these 4 you will get, then that outcome is favorable. Total outcomes are 20. So the probability of getting a defective bulb is 4 by 20, that is 1 by 5. Look at the second one. Suppose the bulb drawn in 1 is not defective. Okay. Suppose the bulb drawn in 1 is not defective and is not replaced. Okay. Now see, initially how many are there? 20 bulbs. Out of these 20 bulbs, 16 are good, 16 good, and 4 defective, isn't it? Now in the second question, what they are saying is, in one they are taking one bulb and it is not defective, and it is not replaced. So if you are taking one out, how many bulbs will be left out? Only 19. Okay. And since that is not defective, means it is a good one. So how many more good ones will be left? Only 15, right? Only 15 good will be left. And how many defective will be left? 4. Is this equation correct? So now look at the question. What is the probability that this bulb is not defective? Not defective. How many good ones are there? 15. Total number are 19. So the probability of getting a good bulb is 15 by 19. Okay. So just keep following the instructions. As you read the instruction, keep writing your equations. Then all the answers you will get very easily. These are oral types of questions. Next, a box contains 90 discs. A box contains A box contains 90 discs which are numbered from 1 to 90. If one disc is drawn at random from the box, find the probability that it bears a 2-digit number. See, first of all, you could get any of the 90. So total number of outcomes are 90. But they are asking how many 2-digit numbers are there. From 1 to 90, how many 2-digit numbers are there? 1 to 9, they are not 2-digit numbers. So remaining 81 should be 2-digit numbers. So the probability is 81 by 90, or if you will simplify, 9 by 10. Next, what is the probability that it bears a perfect square number? See, from 1 to 90, how many perfect squares are there? 9 square, 81. 10 square, 100. 10 square is going beyond 90. So up to squares of 1 to 9, they are perfect squares which lie between 1 and 90. So there are 9 favorable events. So 9 by 90, so you will get 1 by 10. And then a number divisible by 5. See, from 1 to 90, how many numbers are there which are divisible by 90? Divisible by 5. See, 18 5s are 90, right? So there are 18 numbers which are multiples of 5. So 18 by 90, you need not count all these. Directly you could say from 1 to 90, 5 18s are 90, right? So there are 80. 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 18s are 90. There are 18 in number. 18 by 90 will give you your respective probability. Next, please read this. A child has a die whose 6 faces show the letters as given below. Okay. Now, the die is thrown once. What is the probability of getting A? Students, please follow this. How many faces are there? 6 outcomes are there. Right? So, total number of outcomes are 6. But they are asking what is the probability of getting A? How many times A could get among this? Here A is there and here A is there. So, there are 2 favorable outcomes, right? So, the probability of getting A is 2 by 6 or 1 by 3. And then look at the second question. Probability of getting D. Again, total number of outcomes are 6 only. But how many times you could get D? Only once, right? So, the answer is 1 by 6. So, let's look at next question. Suppose you drop a die at random on the rectangular region shown in figure. What is the probability that it will land inside the circle? What is the probability that it will land inside the circle with diameter 1? Suppose you drop a die at a random on the rectangular region shown. What is the probability it will land inside the circle with diameter 1? Okay. See, here what they are asking is, they are saying that the die should fall on this region. See, you are throwing it on a rectangular region. So, the area of the rectangular region, it could fall anywhere on the rectangular region. So, the area of the rectangle is 6 meters square. But they are not asking about that. They are asking, it will fall on this only. The total outcome. See, when you are throwing on the floor, say suppose it will obviously fall on the floor only. Similarly, treat this rectangle as your floor. Okay. So, the total outcomes will be that rectangular area. So, it should fall on that. But they are asking, what is the probability that it will land inside the circle with diameter 1? So, what is this area of this circle? See, they have given the diameter 1. So, the radius will be 1 by 2. If you know the radius, you could find the area of this circle. So, area of the circle will be pi by 4. So, this is your favorable outcome, pi by 4. The total outcomes is 6. So, the answer is ratio of pi by 4 to 6, that is pi by 24. Okay, students. So, this is a very, very interesting question. Let's look at the next question. A lot consists of 144 ball pens, of which 20 are defective. Okay, 20 are defective. And good ones are how many? 124. Isn't it? Because total 144. Now look at the question. And others are good. Noori will buy a pen if it is good, but will not buy if it is defective. Okay. So the shopkeeper draws one pen at random and gives it to her. What is the probability that she will buy it? So she will buy only if it is good. So what is the probability of getting a good one? Total pens are 144 in number. What is the probability of getting good ones? There are 124 in number. So the probability of getting good is 124 by 144. Next. What is the probability that she will not buy it? She will not buy it. See, probability of getting a defective pen is 1 minus probability of getting a good pen. See, good pen, not a good pen. So now you know what is probability of getting a good pen. So what will be probability of not a good pen? Complementary event. How do you find it? Not 1 minus probability of the event. That is 1 minus 31 by 36. You will get this answer. So let's look at the next one. 2 dice, one blue and one grey are thrown at the same time. Now complete the following table. See, you are given event, sum on 2 dice. See, when you throw 2 dice, when do you get 2? Sum on 2 dice should be 2. Only when you will get 1 and 1, right? 1 and 1 is 2. Okay. So total number of you will get only when you will get 1 and 1. When do you get 3? For getting 3, either you should get 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. Right? So how many possibilities are there? 2 possibilities. See, first of all, there are 2 dice, right? One is blue one and other is gray one. And blue one, it will show 6 outputs, right? And gray one also, it will show 6 outputs. So total number of combinations will be 36. You will be getting 36 combinations. What are those 36 means? You will get either 1 1 or 1 2 or 2 1, or you will get 1 3 or 3 1, or you will get 1 4 or 4 1. In any way you will be getting, right? 1 5 or 5 1 or 1 6 or 6 1. So in this way, total number of possibilities you will get 36. Out of the total possible 36 outcomes, 1 2 and 2 1, they are favorable events because you will get the sum 3. So 2 by 36, that is 1 by 18. Okay. Similarly, for what is the probability of getting 4? You get 4 when either you get 1 3 or 2 2 or 3 1. So here the favorable outcomes are 3 in number out of 36. Similarly, find for 5, you will get 4 by 36. For 6, you will get 5 by 36. For 7, you will get 6 by 36. And for 9, you will get 4 by 36. Please do it yourself, you will get these answers. Okay. Then look at the second one. A student argues that there are 11 possible outcomes: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Therefore, each of them has a probability 1 by 11. Do you agree with this argument? Justify your answer. No, right? Is it true? Because here 2 you are getting only once out of the 36 possibilities. See, the respective probabilities are different. So how can they be equally likely outcomes? Each of them, they are having different probabilities. No, because the outcomes as 11 different, some are not equally likely. They are not equally likely events. As you said, as you have seen, they are different probabilities. Next, a game consists of tossing a 1 rupee coin 3 times and noting its outcome each time. Okay. Hanif wins if all the tosses give the same result, that is 3 heads or 3 tails, and loses otherwise. So calculate the probability that Hanif will lose the game. See here, given that total outcomes are head head head, tail 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 tail, head head tail, head tail. These are the possible outcomes, right? So there are 8 outcomes. Out of these 8 outcomes, when does Hanif will lose the game? Hanif will lose the game when not all the 3 outcomes are same. So that is, in all these 6 chances, he will be losing the game. So favorable outcomes for Hanif to lose the game are 6 in number. Total number of outcomes are 8. So probability that Hanif will lose the game is 3 by 4. He will win the game only when 3 H's or 3 T's. That is only 2 out of 8. A die is thrown twice. What is the probability that 5 will not come up either time? See, first of all, throwing a die twice and throwing 2 dice simultaneously are treated as the same experiment. Now see, a die is thrown twice. So the number of outcomes, total number of outcomes will be 36, because each die will show 6 possibilities. So 6 combinations, 6 into 6, 36 possibilities you will get. Out of this, 5 will not come in either time. Means this is dice first throw. Okay. And this is second. Here what is being said is total outcomes are 36. No doubt about that. For the first event, 5 should not come on both the sides. So if 5 should not come, what should be coming here? Either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6. So how many possibilities are there? 5. And here also it is the same, right? How many possibilities are there? 5. Okay. And combinations of these, 5 into 5, you will be getting 25. So number of outcomes in favor, probability 5 will not come either time is 25 by 36. Okay. And what is the probability that 5 will come up at least once? See, 5 comes, 5 does not comes. These two are complementary events, isn't it? So here you have found the probability for 5 turning up, right? So now for what is the probability for, here you have calculated the probability for 5 not turning up. So here they are asking what is the probability of 5. So it is the complementary event of that. So subtract this from 1, you will get the answer. Okay. Do it any manner, just if you could understood the question, then it is very easy. And then, which of the following arguments are correct and which are not correct? Give reasons for your answer. If 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, there are 3 possible outcomes: 2 heads, 2 tails, or 1 of each. Therefore, for each of these outcomes, the probability is 1 by 3. Is it correct? No, right? Because total possible outcomes will be 4: HH, HT, TH, and TT. So probability of getting 2 heads is 1 by 4, getting 2 tails is 1 by 4, and probability of getting 1 head and 1 tail is 2 by 4, that is 1 by 2. So this is wrong. And then look at the second one. If a die is thrown, there are 2 possible outcomes: an odd number or an even number. So therefore the probability of getting an odd number is 1 by 2. That's true. See, total possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are 6 in number. What is probability of getting an odd number? 1, 3, 5. There are 3, total 6, so 1 by 2. What is probability of getting an even number? 2, 4, 6. They are 3 and total 6. So that is 1 by 2. So the argument is correct. Let's look at the next one. See, 2 customers, Shyam and Ekta, are visiting a particular shop in the same week, Tuesday to Saturday. Each is equally likely to visit the shop on any day as on another day. What is the probability that both will visit the same shop on same day, consecutive days, different days? See, say Shyam will visit on these days and Ekta will visit on this particular days. Let's see through the table. Say Shyam visits on Tuesday and Ekta visits on Tuesday. So what is the probability that they will visit on the same day? Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 possible cases. Total how many possible cases are there? Total you could see that there are 25. Out of that, okay, out of these 25, on 5 times, both of them they could be on the same day. So favorable are 5, total 25. So the answer is 1 by 5 for the first question. Okay. And then for the second question, consecutive days. It is being said that consecutive days. Consecutive days means one next to the other. See, out of these 25, if you look at this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday. And similarly, look at below, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Friday. So these 4 and these 4, all these 8 will be consecutive set of days, isn't it? What is the probability that both will be visiting on consecutive days? So how many favorable are there? 8. So the answer for this will be 8 by 25. Okay. And then different days. Different days means not on the same day. Not on the same day. For the same day, the probability is 1 by 5. For not on the same day, probability will be 1 minus 1 by 5. Because that is a complementary event, isn't it? So the answer will be 4 by 5. So the first one, the answer is 1 by 5. And for the second one, 8 by 25. And for third one, that is a complementary event. Answer is 4 by 5. So let's look at the next question. A die is numbered in such a way that its faces show the numbers 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 6. Okay, not the usual one. Now it is thrown 2 times and the total score in 2 throws is noted. Complete the following table which gives a few values. Okay. Now see. Say these are the numbers in second row and number in first row. So 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2, 3. So in this way fill this table. So 2 plus 1 will be 3. 3 plus 1, 4, 3 plus 1, 4. And then 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 5. Fill this table, okay. And similarly, 2 plus 2, 4, 2 plus 3, 5, 2 plus 6, 8, 3 plus 2, 5, 3 plus 3, 6, 3 plus 3, 6, 3 plus 6, 9, 3 plus 3 6, 3 plus 3 9. So in this way once you will fill the table. Now look at the question. They have been asked what is the probability that the total score is at least 6. First of all, how many possibilities are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6, 36 are there. Total outcomes are 36. So total number of possible outcomes are 36. Now out of these, in the first question, what is the probability that the total score is at least 6? At least 6, even 6 and at least 6. Okay. So first of all, what is the probability that the score is even? How many times you are getting even? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. So 17 times you are getting even, isn't it? 17 or 18? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. And year 1. Sorry, 3 plus 3, this is 6, right? So the total number of times we are getting even is 18 times. So 18 by 36, that is 1 by 2. And then how many times we will get 6? What is the probability of getting 6? See how many times you see 6 over here? 1 2 3 4. So there are 4 times. So probability is 4 by 36, 1 by 9. And then the next one, at least 6. So 6 or greater than or equal to 6. How many times you are having? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So there are 15 cases. So the probability will be 15 by 36. Okay. So let's look at the next one. A bag contains 5 red balls and some blue balls. Okay, we don't know how many blue balls are there. Now if the probability of drawing a blue ball is double that of a red ball. Okay. So what we will do is, first of all, let us assume the number of blue balls as x. So once you know the number of blue balls as x, number of red balls given as 5. So total number of balls is x plus 5. And you know how to calculate the probability. Probability of getting a red ball will be 5 by x plus 5, because 5 are favorable and total are x plus 5. Probability of getting a blue ball is x by x plus 5. And in the question it is given that probability of drawing a blue ball is double that of a red ball. So x by x plus 5 is 2 times of 5 by x plus 5. Now simplify this, do cross multiplication, rearrange the terms, you will be getting a quadratic expression. And you know quadratic expression you could solve by factorization, right? So you could write minus 5 as minus 10x plus 5x. Now simplify, you will get either x is equal to 10 or x is equal to minus 5. But what is x? We have assumed x as number of blue balls. Can number of blue balls be negative? Answer is no. So hence x is equal to 10. So the number of blue balls are 10 in number. So let's look at the next question. A box contains 12 balls, out of which x are black. Okay. If one ball is drawn at random from the box, what is the probability that it will be a black ball? If 6 more black balls in the box, the probability of drawing a black ball is now double of what it was before. So find x. So first of all, total number of balls are 12. So total number of black balls are x. Probability of getting a black ball will be x by 12. Okay. Next question. Now 6 more black balls are put in the box. So the total number of balls will become 18. Okay. And total number of black balls will be, initially they are x. So after putting 6 more, you will be having 6x plus 6. Now what is the probability of getting a black ball now? X plus 6 by 18. But it is given that the probability x plus 6 by 18 is double of initial probability, that is twice of x by 12. So now solve this equation. For x, you will get x is equal to 3. Okay. So let's look at the last question before we wind up the discussion on probability. A jar contains 24 marbles. Some are green and others are blue. Okay. If a marble is drawn at random from the jar, the probability that it is green is 2 by 3. Find the number of blue balls in the jar. So here what we'll do is, total number of marbles are 24, right? So let's assume number of green marbles as x. So total number of blue marbles will be 24 minus x, isn't it? Because jar contains either green or blue. So what is probability of green marble? That is 2 by 3, it is given. But you know, number of green marbles are x and total number of marbles are 24. So probability should be x by 24. So x by 24 equal to 2 by 3. So from this you will get x as 16. So once you will get green marbles as 16, then the number of blue marbles will be 24 minus 16, that is 8. Okay, students. So hope you have understood the applications of probability, the basic definition of probability. Okay, students. So with this, let's wind up our discussion on this topic. Thank you. Have a nice time.